What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Hunter Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm Fempreneur Extraordinaire, Tech Diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you. Woo, and aren't we going to need to be free to be ourselves on this episode? Because if the people come through with all their opinions the way they're coming through on the internet,
look,
all of these long posts about why somebody should and shouldn't and could and couldn't.
Y'all, I done had it up to here with y'all feelings on today. I'm sorry. Like,
pick up your feelings, Jasmine Sullivan.
Right. I know we say be free to be you.
Oh, he said don't be free.
But that don't mean, you know what? Be free to be you. But there's a quote from, I think it was Seth Godin, that said, be yourself is not always the best advice.
Or do you, right?
Or do you know? I mean, folks feel how they feel, and we're gonna unpack a lot of that on today. You know what? Let's pay the bills first. Forget the little banter.
Oh, shoot.
Let's pay the bills, because I have a feeling we're gonna go down a rabbit hole today if people in the comments or we start unpacking stuff, and I just want to have enough time to be able to do that. So, as always, the Crossroads Podcast is brought to you by the House of 334.
It's the house.
For all your business branding and copyright needs, go to houseof334.com. It is Black owned, it is woman owned, it is Black woman owned, and it is amazing. The Crossroads Podcast is also brought to you by The Crossroads. Y'all can visit our bit.ly at bit.ly/The Crossroads to see everything that we're doing. Our YouTube, our social media, our donation link is there as well as our email. If you would like to be a sponsor on the Crossroads Podcast, you can email us at crossroadspodcast@gmail.com. Send us your information, send us your product so that you can become a sponsor on the Crossroads Podcast. If you would like to donate to the Crossroads Podcast, we love a little, we love a lot, but we appreciate everybody that continues to give to the show, because it is a labor of love, but love ain't free. And if you think it is, tell your landlord that you love them. Yep, I ain't tried that one yet.
I wonder what would happen.
I remember when I first thought about it, it was actually part of a script. It was an argument scene. I probably need to go back and finish that. Well, no, because he was, she was on his head about, bills. He was struggling with a job and stuff like that. He was like, what about love? She's like, love ain't paying no bills. And if you think you do, go downstairs and tell the landlord you love him because the rent is due.
My Lord.
I was actually channeling Maisha when I wrote that, because I could just, that's who I can picture or hear saying something like that. So like, go tell the landlord that you love him there.
That's funny. She probably would make it a little more colorful. She would have added some words.
Yeah, yeah. And we know what words she would add. She's gotten better.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying.
She ain't cutthroat no more, but
it would have been some words added.
It really would, and we know her for her colorful words. I stuck out my lights on in the back. Alexa tripping.
Oh no! Don't and give her the command. Let me make sure mine don't.
Alexa, turn off back area.
You want me to turn off on backyard, right?
No, I swear to God, she's getting old. I think they programmed her to get old because her hearing is going. Alexa, turn off back area.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Like she heard everything I just said. I'm surprised she didn't. You mother.
That happened today. I was calling somewhere. I was calling the hospital, and I was trying to get the actual hospital, and it was like orthopedic. I was like, no, hospital, optometrist. I was like, okay.
She's gonna take you through all the specialties. Just hospital. I ain't saying none of that.
Never mind.
Right.
So yeah, this AI is not AI in the way it's supposed to.
I did purchase something that she suggested today. So she was like, hey, there's a deal that's on something that you have saved in your Amazon cart. Would you like me to add it to your cart? I was like, sure. So she added, she's like, you have 15 minutes left to take advantage of this deal.
Come on, sis.
And then you gonna rush me?
We like
Then she goes to buy it now to purchase now. I'm like, I ain't even gotta log on to Amazon to shop no more.
Nope. Amazon will come to you. As I take the sip of this drink, I just want to acknowledge our EP who is not with us this evening, but probably logged in somewhere. But I miss you, boo. Thank you. I had to make my own drink today.
That was translation, y'all. This for the homies that's not here. She just happened to be married to the homie that's not here.
But I ain't pouring out no liquor.
I ain't finna pour out not on this light carpet I got over here. I'm good. I'm extra good. Yeah. Y'all, it's been a day, a week, a last couple of weeks. I feel like every time, and I've been telling you kind of what's going on, but every time I tell you what's going on, it's like the next day is like, hold my beer. And I'm just like,
and I ain't even told you what's going on. So
right. And I need to,
because I was like, we can't all be down, and that's the thing. Like when you're a real, well, I won't say when you're, I feel like when you're a real friend and, if your friend beat you to the punch with what's going on, you just got to hold it.
But you know what? You don't
me too.
Actually, you know what? I'm the type you can, but I
know I could.
Yeah,
but I just was like
to you because we was both going through it last week, and then I went first, and I just was in this space. He's like, and I was like, you know what? I'm drunk because I was drunk on the show, and I think I said that, and I'm probably gonna be today too. I was like, I'm drunk, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep, and I just left. Okay. I did not ask you how you were. I did not ask you what happened. I did not circle back, and I am sorry. I was not a good friend in that moment. I was selfish and thinking of self. So
you got 20 plus years in the can, so I didn't take that any kind of way. I was just, sometimes somebody else got to be first. This is what it is.
Yeah. No, I was being my because something else happened, and I was talking to Maisha on the way home, but before I said it, I just said, and she knew it was not good because I said, "What kind of day are you having?" Because depending on that was like,
if I'm gonna,
right. And she was like, what happened? Like, so she knew.
Shout out to friends. We consider each other, even with as many years as we have, and we know if we need to, like, look, I need to tell you this. I could, but even in your own stuff, to consider your friend, that's being a friend. That's being family. So I'm glad you got a chance to, kind of preload or unload. Before you got here.
Yes and
no.
You're going first.
Okay.
Tonight.
I'll go first.
And I'll text what happened. That, and we can talk about it another time. Because I actually don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I get that right too.
Now. Yeah. So y'all, this is not what we came here to talk about.
The roadies and the road dogs. Here, look, the question in the chat for you is, how was your day? Like,
how can
what's
we
going
know,
on?
we need to do, I'm sitting here trying to fix this chair, and it's sinking on me. I might have gained a couple of pounds. We probably need to do a show where we're just asking people how they doing and unpack their day and do some dear Abby. But I know we having a couple of bad days, but someone else who's having a real bad day.
My Lord.
Your boy Ja Morant is having a rough go at it right now. And
I know who he is, but I had not been following. But once I caught up, I was like, speaking of thing after thing after thing.
And it's not the first thing. So so I'm not even gonna say it baffles me.
I was gonna say, let's just give just for anybody that was like me, and you're like, what is going on?
Knowing who okay.
Yeah, or maybe you know who he is, but you just didn't know, what's been going on. So just as a catch you up, if you will. Yeah. So Ja Morant, of course, is an NBA player. He plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. I believe he's maybe 4 years in at this point. has really, in my opinion, started to become one of the larger faces for the NBA. So very promising. He's doing big things. And in the past, it's not even a couple of months, like in the past month, there's just been stories that have continued to come up around his behavior. So just the brief timeline that I was able to see was last month in February. There was a Grizzlies Indiana Pacers game. And after the game, some of his acquaintances allegedly were pointing a red laser at the Pacers traveling party. So whoever was with them, right? Nothing came of that. I think there was an investigation. They couldn't prove one way or the other. So it kind of just slid by. At the top of the month, there was this story in the Washington Post about 2 incidents last summer. So that would be now, 6 to 7 months ago, where he was accused of punching a teenager in the head during a pickup game. He replied that it was pretty much in self-defense. The second incident was his mother called him to the mall. Okay, look, moms don't be messing up the bag, but called him to the mall to handle, some employee that had been, kind of hollering and screaming, or they had been in a shouting match and all of that. And so, those are some pretty big things. And then finally, just in the last, it's not even been a week yet, he was on IG Live with a gun in the strip club. In the strip club. And I saw it like, okay, we from LA. Now we got the monopoly on guns and stuff. Because we don't. We've seen it, right? That didn't even look like, even the way that he put it in the I missed it. And I had to watch it 2 times. Yeah, first of all, it looked to me like he was holding it like this. So I could.
Like, ew.
Is this what he getting in trouble for? But having the gun, and already there being allegations out there about gun use or brandishing or what have you, that wasn't a good look. Yeah. So now that I'm giving you the time,
it got even bigger than that. So when you play sports, professional sports, there's something written in your contract that's called conduct detrimental. Right, that if you do anything that is detrimental to the team, or even yourself, right? Like your body, is, I won't say property, but this is your tool.
Yeah.
And that's largely why. So Jay Williams, who's an analyst now, was also a player. He was number 1 overall. He was player of the year at Duke and everything else, who got into a motorcycle accident and had a career-ending injury, but he wasn't supposed to be on a motorcycle. So like, those are things that like written in your contract, like you can't do as professional athletes and stuff like that. So of course, having a weapon is conduct detrimental. So originally he was suspended for 2 games, right? For the IG post. But that post, like posting it like on IG and the need to post stuff, and that goes into like our second topic that we'll talk about later, is like the strip club was in Denver, right? They just played against Denver. And they were like, wait a minute, he's got a gun in Denver.
Oh Lord.
How did he get to Denver on the team plane?
Yeah.
So that means he had to have it on the team plane. Which means he was at the facility before, like, so there's
it's snowballing,
right? So in the CBA, the Players Association, whatever, in their contracts. I don't know. I'm brain farting what it stands for. Anyway, that's a mandatory 50-game suspension. You see what I'm saying? So also the police are investigating it. There's so much more, and this video wasn't but 10 seconds or so
maybe long. Yeah.
But we gotta go live. We gotta, what I'm saying, And now, and so the thing is, he could be likely be suspended for a season, um, if not greater consequences. So he's got a contract with Nike, a sponsorship with Nike. His player contract, he's on a 4-year contract for 40 million a year right now.
I
It's
heard Powerade, right? He's doing something with
right.
Powerade.
There's so much connected to it. Um,
Is he from Memphis originally?
no. I forget where he's from, but he went to Murray State. Um, thank you, CBA's collective bargaining agreement.
Thanks, Steve. Like,
I'm
you
sitting
know
here
what that
thinking,
is.
right.
That's why we got you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And he is one of the faces of the NBA. He's not just a regular, he's a superstar.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? So he's the franchise player for the Grizzlies. He's, one of the top players, if not the most exciting player right now in the league. Um, and so, so before this happened, there's been a lot of conversation about his behavior and his image. Shannon Sharp even talked about it on the show, his show. Like, I think when the Pacers thing came out, was like he's continually trying to portray himself as something he's not. Like, he's always trying to be this thug or tough. And then these pictures come out like, bro, you went to private school, and then people are like, they started doing the 8 Mile and stuff like that. Talking about his parents' marriage, and you got your daddy in your life. Your daddy is front row at every game. And so a lot of people are talking about like, oh, he need better people around him, and I've always kind of hated that
He's from
statement
South
because
Carolina, just to toss that in there. Okay.
right. So is your behavior really about the people around you, or is it about you? Because when you get that kind of money, like the people around you is along for the ride. And who's going and you do have, I mean, you don't really have people saying, hey, don't do that, like your real ones, but at the same time, that's not their responsibility.
Right. Not your responsibility. But you would hope, like, somebody that cares about you, even somebody that's only looking out for themselves, right? Like, let's just say I'm your homie just because you got a contract. I'm gonna try to protect the contract.
Right. Don't mess up the bag for both of us. But here's
we can't all suffer.
We don't know that they're not saying this, or someone's not saying
that is
this,
true. That's true
right?
as well.
We don't know,
because when you're the big dog, who do you really have to listen to, right? It's like, it's my money that's making all this possible. So thanks for your opinion, but I'm gonna do whatever I want to do.
Or when you're young, first when you're young, you don't even got to be rich. When you're young, you think you're invincible. You think you're untouchable. I run a whole school of invincible people that's got kicked out of their regular school right now, right? I run an alternative school. They all thought they was invincible. That's why they did what they did, to get kicked out of their school and sent to me, right? And so now you add millions and millions of dollars and fame, and notoriety, and I'm playing great ball. Like, you think you're untouchable until they touch you.
Until they touch you.
You know what I'm saying? And so stuff like this happens in 10 seconds of your life. Now they're showing you who's really in charge. And rightfully so, because they got to protect the brand, right? And I think it's real difficult and interesting because the NBA is very proactive when it comes to social matters, right? Like Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff. Like they stay on I'll say the liberal side of things. And so for that to be true, we should right. Tell me to shut up without telling me to shut up. Right?
You haven't been canceled.
Right.
That was a mistake.
But it's not a good look when one of our franchise players, when we're speaking up against injustice and police brutality and the killing of unarmed Black men, that now we become, part of the problem with these things, and brandishing weapons and praising it and stuff like that. So I don't think it's a good look on. It's not a good look at all, but it's not a good look on that front. And then so many kids want to be like Ja.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. All that liberal BS. Tell us how you really feel, Rico.
Now, this is what I was gonna say before, Callie Bill, and I've said this. Well, I said it years ago about Chris Brown. I was just like, is there somebody
Mhm.
that could be hired, as the image consultant or the no person, right? Is there somebody that's not a yes man or a yes woman? Because typically, you see the folks again, they're there for the ride. I don't think it's their job, but again, if you care about somebody,
Mhm.
and even just the basic, I care about what I can get from you. It seems to me that you would try. And like you said, we don't know if they haven't, but if some of these stories are accurate, some of the friends have been accused of doing some things too. It's not like they're standing
Mhm.
by holding the bags
Yeah.
and he's doing everything on his own. So you're just wondering, like, well, what type of crew are you with? What's going on with the family? Like, to the point where your mom is calling you down to the, like, if I was an NBA millionaire, I'm not even going to the mall. Bring the mall to me. Why am I at finish line, right? But
Mhm.
especially to, yes, that's your mom, and you don't want anybody disrespecting your mom, but no. And mom, why are you calling? First, you have a whole husband. The parents are together, right?
I don't think so, but
Oh, maybe
still,
that's
I'm
why.
not calling him like
Call your brother. Call somebody else. Do not
right
call this man to
because he
come.
walk in there. The first thing people is doing,
It
you know what I
That's
mean.
ignorant. I
And what's
what
he gonna come down there and do? Beat somebody up? You
or
know?
get beat up. No, that would
Yeah,
be the.
it could happen, and that's gonna be on tape too. It just like they say, you can take people out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of people. But this is not the case. He's not from the hood.
And that was the part I was wondering. I was like, well, maybe
He's
he's
not.
trying to identify. He's trying to be hood adjacent.
I don't know. So my thing is, it's like, what do you even need a gun for? Right now, if I got all this money and I'm going
Security.
somewhere, thank you. I'm hiring somebody who's licensed and bonded.
Mm-hmm. Handle
Boom,
that
you
business.
handle that. I don't, what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep my image squeaky clean. I'm hiring people to keep people like that away from me. You know,
Right.
um, and I grew up in the hood, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where did I live when we became friends?
Yeah. In the hood.
In
In
the
the hood.
hood, you know what
In
I'm
the
saying?
hood. Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't.
He's trying, but I don't know why. That's the part
Mhm.
that is kind of baffling, right?
Maybe
Like,
he
if
was
these were
chauffeured.
already your friends, or is he, because Memphis ain't no punk. So maybe maybe it's trying to make
Hmm.
new friends in Memphis, and this is, kind of how he feels like he needs to do it, but you just don't. But
Yeah,
also, to your point, like, he's what, 24, 25, something like that. He's
I need
early
to look that.
20s.
Alexa, how old is
I was
Ja
like,
Morant?
Ja Morant is 23 years old and was born on
not
August
even.
10th, 1999.
Okay. So not even. Oh, Jesus,
99.
99. She didn't have to include that.
Did hold up? Did we just had to like? Oh,
We was taking over for the 99 and the 2000.
I was already Greek.
Well, I wasn't
You
quite,
wasn't.
but I was still taking over for the 99 and the 2000. I was
Oh
up in that thing.
wow,
He was
dang.
just born. So then there's also that, and I thought about it today. He's been in training to be an NBA player. That is what his dad, trained him to do and be. We don't know anything else about his upbringing, what, if anything else was important in his life. It was just like, focus on getting into the league. You got to the
Mhm.
league. Now what? You know?
Now you hustling backwards.
Yeah.
You know,
So
and you got so many cats that is playing for mama. You know, get mama out the hood. all this other stuff, like Deion Sanders was under fire for saying, um, and you got cats that's trying to change their life, right?
Yeah.
Like LeBron grew up in poverty,
Akron.
you
Yeah.
know, and he's got probably the squeakiest image we've seen on any player.
Yeah.
You
Like, I'm
know,
gonna be over here.
scandal free. He ain't been caught up with no women. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a billionaire business owner, and that's what, like, if he, whatever consultants he got it right, and then the homies that he does have is works. I can't even say works for him, works with him, because they all have their own companies, and have this whole conglomerate between them, which is dope. Like
Mhm.
he put his boys on.
Yeah.
And now, what I'm saying, now like Rich Paul is like the most powerful agent in the league, and
Wasn't that good?
Maverick, like they all doing it, right? That's
That's
how you do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't party and have fun. I'm not saying that, but when you are who you are, you got to be careful of where you go and absolutely what you do. And then the crazy part is you got cats like Allen Iverson. Now, when he was in the league, he was branded as the bad boy.
Mhm.
He was the bad guy.
That's for braids.
Right. And he got in an incident where it was, and it wasn't even him. They arrested him because of just because he was there and he was the name.
Right.
He was, a fight broke out. It wasn't him fighting. He wasn't in it. He didn't start it. None of that. Everybody else gone free, but he's the one in the headlines because of his name. And that's the part that folks got to be careful for. It's like it's not fair, but it is what it is. So yeah, you got to make better decisions. And speaking of decisions, there's another decision that we was talking about on the show this week, and this was the big one. So Chris Rock, after a year,
it's the Rock in the building.
March 27th, 2022 was the slap heard around the world.
Man.
And I remember the date because I was just watching Marlon's comedy special and he kept saying,
oh my gosh. I was watching him on the Breakfast Club, but I haven't seen the special. Where is that at?
It's on HBO Max.
Okay. I'll watch it after this.
And so the interesting thing, if you don't know, I don't know what rock you've been under, right? But I guess we'll set it up anyway. So last year at the Oscars, Chris Rock is hosting the Oscars, and
no, he wasn't even hosting. He came out.
He was presenting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's presenting. I wasn't even watching it. I found out what happened. Okay, let me set it up, and then I'll get to that part. Mm-hmm. So Chris Rock is presenting, and he does a joke about Jada, who is, has no hair. And he made a joke referencing G.I. Jane, who also didn't have any hair. It's an old movie. She was going to be in training to be a Navy SEAL, and they, the men shaved their heads, and she also shaved her head. So it was like this signature look for Demi Moore, who played the role. Right. And he made a joke and called her G.I. Jane. And people laughed. Will Smith was sitting there. He laughed. So they say that she gave him a look or like rolled her eyes. At that point, Will got up from his seat, went onto the stage casually, walked up to Chris Rock and slapped him in the face, and then casually walked off.
Oh, back there. Yeah.
Got to his seat and said, "Keep my wife's name out your M&F mouth." Right. And so I wasn't watching. I was scrolling social media, and then I saw this cat that I follow. And somebody was like, "Did that really just happen?" Like #Oscars. Like, and everyone was like, "Whoa, what just happened?" I was like, "Wait, what did just happen?"
And folks was like, "It's a skit."
Yeah, then folks said it was a skit, and Marlon actually referenced that too. So, people didn't know if it was that crazy. Like, people didn't even know if it was real, and then it kind of set in like, "Nah, this is real." And I think when Will was yelling from his seat and cussing, live, it was it was so that night, and what made the night even bigger was it was a black producer, right? The first time it was produced by a black
Right.
man.
Will Packer.
Um, then there were several black people that were up to win Oscars. I think Danny Glover was a winner that night. Questlove, Will
Yep.
Smith was
Will Smith
actually
himself.
nominated and actually won his first uh, Oscar for Best Actor, which is
And was
ironic,
hosted by black women.
and was
So
hosted by
yeah.
like right. And so the ironic part of that is, so Chris Rock actually he just released his live special, Selective Outrage, which everybody was waiting for his response to the stuff because they said he was going to address it.
Right.
Part of of what he said, he talked about Jada wanting him to quit the Oscars as the host because Will wasn't nominated for Concussion
Right.
and wanted black people to boycott the Oscars. And then the night that he actually won the Oscar is the night that he over
All
here
this
slapping
happened.
people
Yeah.
over
yeah.
her, like the irony, right? So they was Oscars so white, and then when it's black, this
It
is
was
what
so
y'all
black.
do.
Yeah. That's what you
This
did.
is what y'all
yeah.
do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that black man didn't have a
It's
good week.
tough.
Chris
It's tough
did.
for you.
Chris had a great week.
So it's tough.
So we want to know y'all opinions about the special if you've seen it. The social media commentary. You've had some interesting interactions on social media.
Dude,
Why don't you unpack that?
Yeah. So Chris Rock is my favorite comedian. It is what it is. And you don't have to agree with what everybody does or says. It's it's some cringy parts where you're like, should I laugh at this? But one thing about comedy in general, it's subjective. So it might be funny to you, it might be not be funny to someone else. I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter like, oh, he's never been funny, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you must not have been alive for Bring the Pain and Bigger and Blacker. Like, I don't think I have laughed that hard in life. But now, I listen to him more, and I may not be like doubled over laughing, but the things that he says, you're just like, poignant.
Yeah, it's a lot of social commentary.
Yes. And so, that's different for this generation who, I was reading some stuff calling him the old guy and all this kind of stuff. But anyways, there have been so many people writing posts about the special. A lot of people liked it. And then there were some who were, oh, it wasn't funny, but particularly disappointed, if you will, with his last few minutes about the Smiths and particularly about Jada. So as he unpacked what happened, he repeatedly referred to both Will and Jada as a B. And IT and CH. So and so the first time I was like, oh. So also I saw Chris Rock twice last year as he was working out the material. So another reason why I wasn't doubled over laughing is because I was like, I've been here before. But that part was new, and it was very strategic, I'm sure, that he decided to hold that for this special. It was the first live comedy special that Netflix has done. It was as big to do a pre-show, a post-show. He did it in Baltimore, which is Jada Pinkett's hometown. And so, look, if you are into petty stuff, that's pretty funny. Because, no diss to Baltimore, but if you had anywhere in the world that you wanted to make history, would you go to Baltimore? Probably not.
No. That's
not his hometown. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he chose to do that in that moment, I was like, pretty funny to me. But as I was perusing Facebook and making my little comments, there was one particular post where there's a lady who was, she was mad. She was so mad. She was talking to people that she didn't even know, namely me. Just going down the thread of someone else's post responding like, I can't believe that you're so comfortable with Chris Rock calling a black woman a B and a blip, blip, blip. I'm like, first of all, I didn't say what I was comfortable with. But also me being comfortable or not doesn't really matter. Was I comfortable with Chris Rock getting slapped in the face? No, but he still got slapped in the face. And so, you know, how he chose to respond after a year, like how, I don't know anybody. And I don't know that man either. So I'm firm with, I don't know anybody that gets slapped in the face and can hold it for a year. Who you know? Anybody?
I don't know. No.
Anybody on here? If you got slapped in the face, I'm calling him a B, her a B, their mama's B. Like it's everybody's a B.
Right.
And we slap it. Right. But
right.
Also,
I'm gonna go Riley on him from Boondocks.
Everybody. And that's in private. That's if you get slapped in private. Mm-hmm. He got slapped in several different languages. Like if you go on YouTube, it's like Chinese.
Not even several. All of them.
All of the languages.
I think
because the Oscars is played
everywhere. Like so, literally in front of the whole world.
Yeah. So he's supposed to take the high road. Now, you know, it's always nice to take the high road and turn the other cheek. And we know all those things. However, like, let's be for real. In and of yourself, in your humanity, is your first thought, let me just make sure I don't call them out with their names. Please.
And that's the crazy part. Like, you just slapped me in front of the world.
Child. He better be glad he didn't have nothing blow up.
And yo comeback is he shouldn't call her that. And here's the crazy part. This is the part that's pissing me off. And I said this, and you know where I'm going.
I was like, let me
know where I'm going. All these, I'm trying to. Okay.
Oh, hold on before you do that, because this is. See, because you know your family would have went to town.
I'm your family.
If I was your family,
I am your family.
I would say if I was your family, I'd still be mad.
For y'all that don't know, that's my cousin. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, we found that out last. Well, I found that out last week. Hey, cousin.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
You know me. You know one of my many mantras, but one of my mantras that I live by. Same.
And that was what selective outrage was
exactly. About. And that's the point. That's the irony of it. Like the show was called Selective Outrage, and you have all these people talking about, oh, he's calling a black woman a B. He also called a black man a B several times.
Multiple times. Yeah. Yep.
Multiple. Oh, but we're not mad about that. Forget what he called this other black man, right? We posted. Oh, but he called her that, right? And we stay caping for Jada, right? I can't even say what I really want to say because we've changed the language on the show. But
we made the crossroads after dark.
But she gets R. Kelly energy from me. You know why? So like the whole world is cancel R. Kelly, blah blah blah. She is no different. Why? She is a predator. She sat there. They embraced this young man who was in a traumatic stage of his life, invited him into their home under their protection. And what did she do? Seduce him because she was feeling broken. And she needed to feel happy. And she needed, so you took this broken boy, right? He's of legal age. So no, you didn't commit a crime, right? Not a literal legal crime, but a moral one. You took this broken, who just was suffering from a death in the family. Wasn't his mom or something like that?
Yes, it was, I believe so, or a sister or somebody. Yeah,
battling alcoholism, all this other stuff, trying to heal. And you use him to heal yourself and cheat on your husband with this young boy who was a friend of your son.
Yeah. Right? All of the red flags. It was just all like, okay.
But we stayed caping for, but Will did this and Will. So this makes it right?
And low key, high key, Will's broken too. So she just collecting all the
Right.
brokens.
And not only that, if you flip the script, if Will was dating one of his kids' friends, right?
Oh.
And so one of the most poignant lines that Chris said was, "We've all been cheated on, but I ain't never seen nobody get cheated on and then interviewed by the person that cheated on you." Talking about how do you feel? Like, what kind of you gonna have them come to the red table and talk about, and then you don't even take accountability for it. You brought them here specifically for it, and then gonna say, "And I got an entanglement."
Yeah,
I almost called her.
I know she almost got one. She almost got another one.
You feel me? And so then we get to the Oscars and we're mad because, she has alopecia. Do you know that 1 in 3 men in the whole effing world suffer from alopecia? Me being one of them. But you know what men get? Jokes.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Yeah.
Posts and everything else. You know how many times I got, when I started to think, you need to just let it go. Oh, look at you. Right? Like jokes. You feel me? And for a lot of men, and people get mad when I say it, it's like it's likened to menopause, right? And people want to say, "Oh, don't say that because it's you're comparing women not being." It's a biological change that's taking you into a different part of your life.
Yeah.
So wrap that up however you want to. I don't care. Be mad, whatever. But you don't get to tell anyone else how to feel because you don't get to do that. When we look in the mirror, when you lose your hair, and I'm sure she felt, you are looking at it, you don't look like different you used to.
Yeah,
it's a different person, and it brings you closer to your mortality. It is.
I'm gonna say, and it's not something you can do anything about. In most cases,
you can't do anything, right? And so it's like, but a woman, and we always make this distinction, like why it's always worse for him. Go wear a wig then. If y'all get to do that, y'all get to wear weaves, wigs, and all this other stuff, right? But if men do it.
Hey, I'm a fan. Get the right person to do it for you. I've seen those transformations.
But every time men try to do something to feel better about themselves, it's jokes about it and why he shouldn't do it and everything else. While women get to wear makeup and wigs and lashes and everything else. You feel me? And so argument. It's like it's
argument.
We stay not keeping the same energy. Call a black man to be all you want, but don't call her that.
Don't call her.
Make jokes about black men bald and everything else all you want, but don't talk about her and her crown. Protect her. You're right. And everybody you get all these praises for Will and everything else about, slapping this man in front of the whole world. That's how you do it. If he ain't got that kind of energy, I don't want it. Really? And now
he is preaching today. He preaching,
but when you get the clap back,
and you can't handle it,
you don't see. Here's the problem, and I tell my kids this all the time at work when they mess up and I bring the hammer down.
You can't handle
you can't handle the truth. But it's like they do something, and then when they find out the consequence, they surprise like, what? I was like,
they don't take all that.
So here's the thing: you chose the action. You don't also get to choose the consequence, and so people want to judge this action by Will, but then judge Chris's response. You don't get to do that. You don't get to tell him how he gets to respond. You don't get to tell him what he gets to say. This man was violated on worldwide television in front of the world, and you want to tell him how he's supposed to respond or what he can't say.
And the response, for it to be a verbal response, I'm just like, normally that type of aggression is met with more aggression, right? I'm like, the fact that he ruminated on it, he planned, he strategized, he held it for a year to then speak his truth and his piece, and it's like, oh, you're still wrong? I'm like, shoot, he did much better than and he got paid for it. So I
got paid. Now here's the thing, I respect Will, his career. Like, Will has been an inspiration, right? I'm judging this moment for this moment. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Will, man, he effed up. And then you got up there and cried. Like, if that wasn't the most Karen-ish I ever seen in my life. And I get it, there's a lot of emotions, but you don't get to violate somebody else and then cry. and then you go on the apology tour. Like, bro. And so I think because Will did all this first and then Chris responded, now it's like, oh, but he said sorry. And he reached out to Chris and Chris didn't. I wouldn't answer either.
At all.
What?
You get what you get.
I don't, just because you apologize don't mean I accept it. I would never forget that. If I got slapped in front of if I get slapped in private.
That's what I said.
Like, my daddy slapped me in my face one time, and it was just me, him, and my brother in the room, and my brother don't never let me forget that. Like, he still talk. My brother, we are grown men, and my brother still talks about that to this day. So, and not only that, you became the butt of memes and jokes and conversations, and that's all anybody has wanted to talk about for a year. This has been your whole life for the last year.
Yeah.
And it's still
it'll go down in history as like famous Oscar moments, or like it's never gonna go away.
That's probably the
most famous Oscar moment. That. Yeah, your family saw that, your friends saw that, strangers saw that. And then also, so we talk about like, oh, because I saw people like, oh, well, if he had all this energy, he should have done something in the moment. Hello, he would have got stomped into the ground. He already like he was the smaller man in the situation, which is why that got off in the first place. What was he supposed to do?
If The Rock was up there presenting, and I forgot who said that. Right.
Yeah.
And here was the worst part about it, is how casually.
Yeah.
He walked up there after he slapped him. He fixed his coat.
Yeah.
And walked away.
I did that.
And then sat down, like, because you knew he wasn't going to do anything. Yeah. The fact that you were even so the thing is, if that were. I'm gonna go with Marlon, because Marlon was like he embodied the spirit of Tupac and went into Will's body, right? So the thing is, Marlon, I was in here cracking it because I was just watching it before the show. I didn't get to finish it. I was 40 minutes in, and the whole show was about the slap, right?
Oh, okay.
The whole show, he did pretty much the whole show is about the slap. Like, he interjected like other stories and moments of his life.
And did it come out after Selective Out? Like it was. I think it was already out.
I think it was before. I think it just came out, but I think it was before Selective Outrage. But so, and sorry to spoil. So, spoiler alert, y'all. I'm gonna just kind of give us a brief synopsis on how Marlon like set up his comedy special. He opens up.
I'm gonna take my headphones off. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give away the joke.
Tell me when it's my turn to talk.
Right. He basically just says like that night wasn't Will's fault. Right. Marlon says it was his fault. And so he talks about when he was young, Chris Rock was like an evil stepbrother. He was like a stepbrother, and I had my daddy in his life paying child support, and your daddy just left you on the stoop waiting. And so he always treated him bad, right? And so Martin talked about like that part that Chris Rock got the rib guy on, I'm gonna get you, sucker, was originally supposed to be his part.
Oh no!
And his brother, like, he couldn't make it because he was in school, so his brother gave it to Chris Rock because they had to finish and they said that part catapulted Chris Rock, and he became Chris Rock, and all this other stuff came out. And so he was trying to get this girl number, and Chris Rock came and hated and took the girl from him. He said he started stand up, and Chris Rock came and heckled him.
I did hear that part.
Yeah. So he was doing all this stuff, and so he was like, I wanted to get back at him. He's like, but then the Lord, I started praying, and the God said, vengeance is mine. And he said, fast forward, March 27th, 2022, right? And so he's just talking about like that moment, like God did that. And that's why he's saying that's what's called God loves me, because he did that based on his. So there's a whole, so he talks about like Will, Jada, and then he connects it all. And then he keeps bringing it back to, that's why that happened, because God loves me.
Yeah.
So
and it's amazing to see, right? Like that situation, depending on who you are and your relation to the people, you could see that any different way, right? Like, he's like, hey, Chris Rock's been a pain in my butt for 30 years. And so, hey, somebody had to do it. He might have felt totally different. But yeah, it's still pretty unbelievable that it happened, and it just makes you think. And I said it to you today, like, if we are able to put hands on everybody that hurt our feelings or said something sideways to us, look,
we might as well just keep warming.
Lego, like
Right.
your hands would probably fall off because
Exactly.
there's some slaps that need to be handed out probably daily.
Right.
And
And the crazy part, this is another part for the ladies that thought that was okay and who believe this is what their man should do if someone says something about them. One, everybody got to stop thinking that they man or their kids can fight.
Mama Morant, this for you.
Look, everybody listen, ladies, hear me and hear me well. Not all of y'all man can fight. Right? And I'm gonna be honest.
A heck of a time to find out.
Even if you can fight, there's always somebody, like anybody can get it on any. Yeah. Y'all, if y'all haven't seen that video with Ja, how he holding that gun, please go. I swear to God, because
it just looks so weird.
Like, you should never hold a gun again ever. Like, nobody fears you after that. No. But yeah, ladies, stop putting it. So a friend of mine actually sent me this video, but she had to explain it because the audio wasn't working. But her and a friend of hers was having a conversation on IG, and she sent me the video of that. And I guess the dude was saying something to the effect of, women want protection. If you want protection, then you got to listen. Right?
You came at the right point.
Yeah, your man can't fight. So you gotta listen. And I was recently in a position to where there was danger, and I'm trying to quell the danger, and she's not listening. She's not getting it. And I'm like, get in the car, pull off, leave. And she too busy trying to get back to my crib and do whatever. And I'm like, look, I'm not on that. I'm in when I'm on. You've seen it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I'm not thinking about all of that. And so you have to follow directions in order for protection to occur. You don't get to ask for protection and then dictate how it goes. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm in a situation or an environment, I need you to move how I'm telling you to move for your safety. Also, you can't be out here wilding and then expecting your man to come clean it up. Men get tired of that. Like, can we have some fun too? You see what I'm saying? So if you the type that get drunk and because my man don't let me, because you see what I'm saying? Like, when I was with the last relationship, we out somewhere. It was your soror's birthday. We out for your soror's birthday.
Oh boy.
From GK of all places. Right?
Shout out to Long Beach.
So we out. She's drunk. Not your soror. Well, I mean, we all drunk.
Everybody.
But my ex, who's on, I got her, we holding hands walking. I'm talking to somebody else. I don't even know what's going on. I turn around and all I hear is, because you don't want it with this one, pointing at me. And I'm like
no,
which one?
No, you don't.
Right. One, I'm pretty sure you don't, but I don't know what's going on. And it was multiple dudes, but she, like, because you don't want it with this. And I'm out here in some hard sole shoes. It's like I'm not in fight attire.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's you can't put your man in these situations, right? And then you'll be the same one that if he lose, you gonna leave him because you don't feel protected.
That part. It's a hell of a time to find out that he can't fight. Right. Is when you done put him out there.
You're gonna get me packed out. And so it was this one video I saw on a train where this dude and this lady was getting into it. She started spitting on him. And so and so this dude walks up that happened to be her boyfriend. And so the dude was like, "Oh, is this your man?" And so she's like, "Yeah." And ladies, listen, laid his ass out. He was just walking up like, lady. He's like, "I can't hit a woman, but you got it. You got it for, Because you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
Right.
hard out
And
here for a pimp.
yeah, so it's like, man,
Yeah, you
like,
do. You definitely have to. Everybody has to take responsibility for themselves. Now, of course, you minding your own business. And this, we were together when random bouncer grabbed me by the arm. I'm not doing anything. I'm like, oh my
right.
God, I'm getting manhandled, right? And I had to even snap out of mode because I'm like, this big
Listen, I knew
country.
I was getting stomped that night.
I was so angry at just being touched, but I had to consider A, I wasn't at home.
Mhm.
B, it's one of my closest friends' birthdays. C, Barzini's
Right.
like the only guy, so it wasn't like, oh,
And
a
I'm
pack of
listen,
dudes.
I'm in all in their face, and
Yeah,
then
and
my
I
she's
was
like,
like, yeah,
they telling me, get in the car, get in the
yeah.
car, and I'm like,
We had to turn it down. I was very upset about that whole thing,
y'all,
but you
listen.
can't be that out of your brain
I
that
was
you.
about, I'm glad the car was there. In retrospect, there was
Mhm.
no way I was about to win that. I'm
Yeah.
sticking up
And
for.
I
I'm
didn't even
definitely.
want you. I'm so glad that wasn't my expectation for you to get into no fisticuffs with these dudes. But it was just like
And they was big.
they were
I'm not a little dude. I'm 6'2",
no,
220,
this was
and they was
country
they
cornbread
was
fed.
they
It
was.
was it was a
Y'all
lot
listen.
going
When I
on.
tell you the L I was probably gonna take,
Yeah,
I
it
love
was
my
a
friend.
lot.
Like it was,
It
yeah,
was a lot. It was
yeah.
a lot. So all that to say, we have to look out for each other.
Hmm.
Yes, we want, our men, fathers, brothers, whatever, to protect us, but you have to protect them, right? So it's a mutual thing. I'm not gonna dangle you out there to get killed because this is the time we're living in. It's not, yeah. If you
Hmm.
would have took a L on some hand to hand stuff, that might be one thing. And I don't want you to do that either. But if you would have gotten shot and killed because, oh, Andrea's whatever out here, I I can call your
Yeah,
mama.
yeah. No, you can't. But you can't call my mama.
I can't call your mama. I can't call
Listen,
your
I
mama.
got a temper, but my mama.
Yeah, I can't call your mama. No,
Yeah, no.
no, no, no.
Listen, she ain't but
Not gonna do
5 foot
it.
nothing, but
Yeah, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
yeah.
So sometimes we have to hold the L. If it's a
Mhm.
pride thing, which this absolutely was. Whether it was Jada's pride, whether it was Will feeling like, dang, again I'm out here looking like Ubby. I got to get up at like you can't let that control
Mhm.
your actions to the point where it snowballs into this larger thing. Like, I mean, Will continues to work, and like you said, his body of work and who he's been, and um, what he's done in the industry, that's not going to be erased, but neither is this. Like,
It's not.
it's just up there right
Yeah.
along with it.
Yeah,
So
and people always talking about cancel. We talked about cancel culture last week.
this
Y'all,
week,
first of all, and people's like, oh, I'm never watching Chris Rock again. I'm never watching the Waynes again.
I was
First
like,
of
he don't
all,
care.
listen, if I learned anything, like 50 Cent can teach you a lot of lessons if you watch him, right? There's this
Fifth.
video, and I think I might have said it on the show. There's a video of 50 performing, and he had a new artist that he was trying to like introduce, but his time was up and they weren't letting him like go longer. So they like cut the mics off and he wouldn't leave the stage. He's like, I'm not leaving until, yeah, weaponizing your parents don't, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
work at a whole school. They tried it all the time and they get sent back. But
Hey, well, I used to tell them at
yeah, yeah,
FD. I probably went to school with your mama, so
exactly.
call her.
Right, right. So look, so the crowd started to boo 50 Cent,
Mm.
right? And 50 said some of the realest ish I ever heard. He was like, wait a minute, y'all booing? He was like, nah, you can't boo. You should have booed me in 2003. It's too late now. I'm already rich.
Wow,
Look, he was
my
like,
goodness.
what are your boos going to? So all of this, we canceling the wins. the Wayans? You can't cancel the Wayans.
Mm-mm.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Did you know how much stuff Keenan Dunn produced and wrote, and like all of them really?
I'm about to say, and the whole family, and now the second generation is in there,
and then the
now.
juniors, and then listen, you can't. You gonna cancel Chris Rock? You can't cancel Chris. The man just made $40 million that night.
That night, and have been already touring for a whole year.
Already touring, and that's not. Come on now. Now, no, he don't got Will Smith money, but even
all right.
Canceling,
he did what he set out to do. If you watch the special, he talked about what he's done for his daughters and what type of life he's been able to provide for them, and so I think he good.
If these people that you so-called cancel, let's say canceling work and they never work again, they're fine. They have still made more than many of you will ever make collectively.
What?
You see what I'm saying? And so my thing is, we're so worried about what Chris said and blah, blah. How does that change what you have to get up and do tomorrow? Right? And that's my central narrative to all of this. Like, people feel this and feel that, and he called Jada this. So what does that got to change? He called her that, what, 2 days? When did it air? Saturday. Mm-hmm. Did it change what you had to do Sunday or even Monday? Monday morning, you still had to get up and go to work.
That part.
Right? So
Netflix. Netflix paid. That's who wrote the check.
Listen, because here's the thing: there was plenty of people who thought his special was hilarious.
Yep.
He's not Chris Rock for nothing.
And even the people who didn't, they still watched it. The numbers count.
And that's what I see. That's what I call the Mayweather effect, right? Floyd Mayweather is so genius. Why people walking around talking about he can't read, which is dumb. But the man, no matter whether, people would pay for Floyd's fights either to see him lose or to see him win. Mm-hmm. Either way, he's getting paid.
You watching it. Yeah.
You watching it. Period. And he fired his promoter. You see what I'm saying? Mm. So the thing is, you still got to get up and go make $15.95, right? Or however. Let me not be insulting, but we still got to get up.
We're not making 40 mil. I get the point. Yet.
Right?
Okay.
But so he's making his, and we keep making other people's feelings, experiences about us. You're not, the thing is, you're personalizing him. You're not Jada, right? You're saying, oh, he's calling Black women B's. No, he is not. He called Jada a B. Also,
he called his own daughter a smug MF. So I say, everybody is fair game.
And people was talking about, people was talking about Kevin Hart for what he said about his daughter. That's his daughter.
Yeah.
Like, how you gonna tell me what I can say about my kids?
Like, that's on
like
you.
People are
between you and her.
Yeah. Like, people got, I don't know this time. I don't know if it's the topic of the liquor, but that got me on tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You on. You're definitely on.
Yeah, it's just crazy how people are qualifying the title of the special, selective outrage. He called a Black man a B as well, and I haven't seen one person. And the thing is, there ain't nothing worse. Black women call each other B's all the time.
Yeah, I don't play that.
I get it. Yeah, bad.
Yeah,
bad.
No.
Like, right.
Black
women and gay men use it all the time, right?
Indeed.
You see what I'm saying? So we're selective on who can say. So the thing is, if calling a Black woman, I'm saying it now, calling a Black woman a bitch is so bad, then why do you allow certain people to do it? Selective outrage. Yeah. Right? If you let other women call you, it's selective outrage. If you let a gay man call you that, but a straight man can't, selective outrage. Because to you, it means something different. Even if we mean it the same, there's no way as a straight man I can explain calling you a bitch, whether it's a greeting, whether it's, you know what I'm saying? I say, telling the stories, I'm like, man, I was at the store. Bitch gonna come tell me, whoa. Oh, don't pick, right? But a gay dude, oh, that's bad. Right? I'm sorry, gay men, that I'm doing the whole thing.
God.
The liquor. We about to get canceled.
We gonna have the lights turned out before
Right.
the weekend.
Oh, but y'all. So
But I mean,
you're proving
it's
his
not an argument.
point.
Yeah.
You are proving his point. Selective outrage. It's okay for me because I'm a man. It's okay for me to get slapped across the face, right? If that were a woman, you putting your hands on a woman. Just that saying right there is selective outrage. You should never put your hands on a woman. You shouldn't put your hands on anybody. How about that?
That's true. Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself. Everybody. Because that makes, as a man, I'm expendable. My safety doesn't matter. My feelings don't matter. Someone can hit me. And the crazy part is this: if a woman was slapped, the expectation would be for someone to defend her. If a man is slapped, the expectation is for him to defend himself. As long as the person who slapped him is not a woman.
I was about to say, yeah.
Right? It's almost like the 3 laws in iRobot. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can go on. We're going down the rabbit hole. I can go on and on and on.
I just happened to look down at my phone. Boo sent me a text said, gotta have bail money and lawyer money if you want street protection. If you ain't got it, everybody gotta shut up and leave.
Everybody gotta shut up and leave.
You gotta just look, you gotta take the L sometime. It's just, my thing at this point is we want everybody to come home alive.
Right. The game has started. Guess who the Lakers playing tonight?
The Grizzlies? Mm-hmm. Oh, Powell's getting his
without Ja.
Yeah, Powell's getting his
jersey retired.
There you go.
I don't know.
I was surprised at that. I was pretty surprised with it. I was like, is that? I mean, we probably wouldn't have got them last 2.
It's almost like they should. It's a pool.
Yeah, but I was like, I didn't have that on my 2023 bingo card.
I didn't. I it's gonna be weird. You look up there. Oh, Gasol.
All
right. You got 2 chips with them, but yeah, right. You played the 5. You're next to Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem, Gasol, and Shaq.
Yeah,
and Gasol.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I'm faded now. The liquor done got me. I'm hot. Yeah. So,
all right. Well,
what are your final thoughts on I done gave all the thoughts, but
yeah, I was like, I think we have discussed the thoughts. It's like, keep your hands to yourself. It's definitely same energy, which is hard. Let's talk about that, because I saw somebody say like women co-sign toxic ish. And, sometimes I can't, like, what am I supposed to do? You alive? Like, sometimes
ladies, y'all make it so hard for my friend to defend y'all sometimes.
I just sit back. I be like, oh, we done got called out. Because it's it's the truth in some cases. And so the things that we want for ourselves, we need to be able to extend to our partners, our friends, our family members that are men, the men that we come in contact with. We can't expect them to, and you can, this is your personal prerogative, but it's not wise to expect them to be here and, you're okay rested right here. And you can take that however you want in any case that you want. It's not fair. And so if you're okay with it, then you can't also expect that they won't have something to say about it. I think that is really what we've been seeing over the past few years, definitely the pandemic years and podcasts. And I see women like, oh, take the podcast mics away from the men. Like, they don't want y'all talking. But what's really
so much
happening
accountability attached to it.
Yeah, what I understand that's happening now is the conversations that used to be at the barbershop and, in the garage and all these different places are now being given a platform. And it's uncomfortable. But if you want to be better, if you want to be better in your relationships, hell, if you want to have a relationship, it might be worth it to at least listen. You don't have to agree with everything, because Lord knows there's sometimes I look at him like, no. But you have to put yourself in a position to at least listen and say, hey, is there some credence that I could give to this? Or, do I just want it my way? Same with, if you're in a relationship or you have a close friend that's a man that you can trust to literally tell you about yourself. It's uncomfortable, but if you want to grow, there's an opportunity there that you can take advantage of. So that's that. But yeah, don't put them in the position where they can get killed, beat up, arrested, just because somebody made you mad.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good look at all. And yeah, the things that we want from them, we have to be willing to do, not just for them, but even amongst each other. We have to model that as well. And so, yeah, it's going to take some correction, which again, not comfortable. Barzini's a unicorn. Barzini's he's been a work in progress, because he's had his moments, but he always has, it might be, and I think some people sometimes may have a problem with the delivery. If you can get past, like, whatever triggers you, like, oh, he was too loud with it, or oh, it hurt my feelings, like, you can strip down all of that and hear what is being said, then it's easier to receive, or at least understand where it's coming from. I don't think I've ever heard him, deliver something in a hurtful like, my intent is to hurt you. It might be hurtful to you just because it's a sore spot. But, I definitely agree that I'm glad he's my partner in this thing, because I've seen some of the other ones, and I'd have to clear the screen like this.
The thing is, here's the thing. You have to understand, and I've been saying this a lot lately, we fail to see things from the other perspective, right? The way these men sound to you is the way women have been sounding to us for years. Right? And this is what you have to ask yourself. These men that you're saying are delusional, if so many of them are saying the same thing, at what point do we say, oh damn? Because usually they're talking about what they want and what they experience, right? And sometimes we personalize the experience by saying, oh, they're not talking about me. But you don't get to tell someone what their experience is. You don't know these men. You just don't like what they're saying, right? And hearing people talk, and this is why a lot of women have problems with what a lot of these dudes are saying, because it requires change, effort, accountability. People don't like what I say because I'm going to tell you the truth, right? People don't like how I say, because I don't give a F how you feel when I'm saying it, right? You don't get to say, I want the truth, and then tell me how to tell the truth. You can't have it both ways, right?
Sometimes I just be like,
so you have to be careful of what you ask for, because here's the reality. Men have feelings too. Men have desires too. Men have expectations too. And gone are the days where we're sitting back saying this whole thing is about women and happy wife, happy life. And if mommy ain't happy, ain't no. Men are done with that. And they're saying it. And this is what's uncomfortable, because it's challenging the norm. The norm has been, he pursues. Oh, he's gonna plan this date. Oh, he's gonna take you out. He's doing all this to earn you. But men are in a position now, especially with the status quo is in our favor. What are you bringing? And so now we're hearing these narratives from women, like it's literally, you can't ask a woman what she brings to the table. Why not? In online dating, I don't know how many profiles I've seen. Don't ask me what I do, right? When you want to, I just said it here. Nothing is in your name table. No. So here's the thing: when you're talking about bringing to the table, women ask that all the time, right? Women want to know, what do you bring? We want to know too. And a simpler way of saying this is, and this is how, when people ask me what I'm looking for, I don't do checklists and stuff like that. My question is always this: how is my life easier with you in it? Does my life get easier with you in it? Period. Right? I am not here to break my back and just give. I don't mind giving. I'm a giver. But guess what? I'm not going to sit here empty handed either. Your expectations cannot exceed your output. Period. Right? And I know a whole lot of women that have hella expectations and very little output. Right? Now, conversely, I know women with expectations and very high output. Sometimes the output is greater than the expectation. And I rock with that, right? And I want to match her energy. I am a same energy guy. And so listen, all I can say is listen. When men are talking, ladies, if you really don't have all the questions, and when you get the answers, you fight the answers because it doesn't support your narrative. You're gonna have to go through a whole lot of uncomfortable truths to get to that place you want. Dre is one of them. She had a lot of questions, and we sat across the breakfast table a lot of years, and she won. I'm not taking ownership of that, but I'm just saying she learned to listen, and so now in her marriage, she listens. So, you know, I can go on and on, but I'm gonna cut it. We're gonna have to turn that into an episode.
Right. All right. Well,
So, y'all, we
Great
thank
week.
y'all for joining us. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. This has been another episode of the Crossroads. We could go on for hours and hours, but still leave the comments. We'll post about it. If we got to talk about it again next week, we will. But in closing, always remember,
be
be
free
free to
to
be
be
you.
you.
We love y'all.